Good day, everybody. How's it all going for everyone? Welcome back to Soulframe. Now, this stream is in part because I normally run 2 of these at the weekend, and this weekend I didn't. And, as I say in the description, I should really be running Warframe. I do have a project in mind, but to be honest with you, I'm a bit burned out from that at the moment. So I thought, what better than a nice quiet stroll in the countryside? At least that's the plan. And plinking the odd enemy. Which apparently I'm very good at missing it today. I do plan on working up Kullervo. Find out how good a melee Warframe I find it to be. I mean, I have to admit, in principle, it actually should be fantastic. But there's more to that than straight DPS, I think. That nebulous concept of how does it feel. Oh, come on. Are you telling me I seriously can't hit this guy? Right. Did I really go through all that just to get a health potion? Well, yes I did. You know, you've got to wonder, when you look at the decorations of the average camp they've got here, that must cost a lot of money. I wonder how tenable a practice it is to have these extremely elaborate devices here. Oh, this is actually kind of useful. I think this is the organ, isn't it? Let's go have a wee look. Yeah, whatever you said. Oh. Never entirely certain that they're dead, but that's just me, and I know I should be able to tell. Yeah, that's the organ, all right. I've tried this before, and couldn't find out. It had said something about freeing my sludgy allies. Allies. Well, that's interesting. He pulled off his shield. Very wise.
Stand aside.
Oh. Thank you, Orangol. That's very helpful. Wow, all this fuss and this guy just sitting there. This is the same basic tile set, I think, for the final episode of Orangol's Pact, where they had that cannon up there. That was a bit glitched. Yeah.
Sweet, smoking air. More.
Yeah, there you go. Free your sludgy allies. Ah. All I've got to do is find them. And not get killed in the process. Well now, that is interesting. I don't think that's exactly a sludgy ally, but... as I recall, you could get struck by lightning from up there.
Not sure of what ails you. Kill it!
Okay, that was one. Wait. If in doubt, gallop a bit.
Her gills!
Yes. That's actually the first of the sludgy allies I've encountered. So that's a step in the right direction. Hey. If in doubt. No idea what that is. Oh, Wevet wood sap. There we go. That answers that question. Ah, this is not a great position to be in.
Destruction!
Let's see if they can hit me here. Not so easily, it seems. Of course, I still have to hit these guys. People. Oh boy. There's a bunch of them. Time for a little constructive cowardice. You know, can't get me here, can you? Under your owns. Where's the Natterak when I want one? Actually, that wouldn't be completely inappropriate. I mean, all the magic they've got floating around here. No, I don't. Don't tell me, though. Free the sludgy allies is the first thing I'm doing. And, good evening, Buta Ballerina. This is the first time I've actually found the sludgy allies. Oh. You gotta love Orangol. She shows up at the most opportune moments.
Leave the kill to your pack.
Oh, this was not good timing.
The organ! Her fires need air!
Oh, that should be interesting. Well, if anybody can see a nice target standing out in the open, that would be handy. That was constructive.
Rise, Legion! Icon still pumps! Save her!
Oh, is that it? Ah. Oh, this cannot possibly be good. I almost feel sorry for the poor fella. What am I supposed to do now? Okay. Apparently I died. I need to use that to target the... Okay. Don't tell me I have to go through all that again. I would not be happy if that was the case. I killed myself. Oh. I thought I was targeting I thought they did. I was trying to actually target this person. Alright. This is actually kind of cool.
Parasite. Cute.
How do I get out of here? Ah. Anything else? Let me have a quick check. Nope. All done. Okay. That was strangely satisfying. Not what I intended doing today. But, yay. Yes, I'm reminded of the fact that there is a... I don't know how to get into that. Alright, let's have a little bit of a rummage, seeing as we've gone to the effort of clearing this out. Otherwise, steal everything, known as steal everything that isn't nailed down. And yes, I'm going back up to the top. Kind of want to get a screenshot. Nice view from up here. I'm awfully tempted to say something like, I can see my house from here. Yeah, taking a screenshot. Actually, I don't think there's a key in this game to take a screenshot, is there? And I'm not running it from Steam, so I can't use F12. So that means I have to do something. Trying to find a suitable view. So, excuse me a second. What I have to do here now is go over to the screenshot utility. Say window, take screenshot. There we go. I must admit, I thought I'd looked. There doesn't appear. Nope. I don't see an option. No, I don't see an option for a screenshot, to be honest. Nope. Unless I've gone completely bonkers, which is entirely possible. I don't deny it. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be, unless there is no. No screenshot. Not that I can find. No, it's a perfectly rational thing. I think I checked it before, but my memory is not what it used to be, so it's worth checking, you know? Like I say, I'm not running this from Steam. I'm running this through Lutris, which works in the same sort of fashion. Lutris, yeah. It's basically, yeah, sets up. It does a similar sort of setup to Steam. I did actually try setting this up with Steam, and I could never get it working. The principle is straightforward enough. Don't forget, this is Linux. But the principle is straightforward. You know, you set it up as a non-Steam game. That's quite possible. You then make sure that you're pointing at the launch program. You then make sure that the working directory is set correctly. And I tried as many permutations and combinations as I could for that. Didn't work. So I did a bit of looking around online and found instructions for setting it up with, like I say, something called Lutris. I can never remember whether it's Lutris or Lutris. Is that what? I can't remember. But, Now, how did we get here? Well, I know how we got here. We walked, mostly. Ah, we headed in completely the wrong direction. I mean, to be honest with you, I say to be honest, yeah, like I'm gonna lie about something like what I'm about to say next. I'm actually kind of impressed that it works as well as it does under Linux. Now, in a way, that shouldn't be a surprise. You know, Warframe has no problem, obviously, and this uses a version of the Warframe game engine, is my understanding. It's entirely possible that I'm missing something with the Steam setup. I could possibly even just... Actually, I don't need to run under Steam. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, F12 would be a useful thing. Being able to... I think I can specify different compatibility layers. Oh yeah, no. I mean, this. I think when they say pre-alpha, they are talking more about the story and the quests rather than the graphics. I think they may well have the graphics down set. It's pretty well polished. So yeah, like I say, my suspicion is that the most of the work they need to do is the game itself, the lore, the regions, the... Yeah, no, I know it's on the wish list. I'm not sure it'll make it's not probably that wouldn't make a huge amount of difference, I don't think, as far as I'm concerned. But sooner or later I will do it. But yeah, and I don't know how soon is. I mean, one of the things about the game, in some respects, is it's obviously unfinished. Yeah. I would kind of expect that it'll go on Steam when they've somewhat expanded the story and the quests. Hang on a second. Oops. In a way, I say one of the problems. One of the issues is that Warframe players are probably going to, with a name like Soulframe, of course it's going to appeal, at least peripherally, to Warframe players. And you know what Warframe is like. Warframe has this huge amount of stuff to do. Which you can spend thousands of hours doing, and I haven't even... there's parts of the game I have barely touched. Oops. I mean, Warframe, I really need to spend time doing railjack missions. I need to spend more time going on the Steel Path. What else? I mean, I only just really... Yes, I suppose so. I think that's a bit of a joke at this point. I've only just started really getting used to Deviri, and I haven't really spent much time on the circuit, for example. Excuse me a moment, I need to cough. So in some ways, they got themselves set up for expectations. Warframe players coming to this might well expect a similar level of depth, and right now it's not there. And they've obviously taken a lot of the aspects of Warframe and simply transferred it over. Yes, exactly. Soulframe is fantasy Warframe. Which I've got no particular problem with, you know. And the other thing about this is it is slower paced, which isn't a bad thing. I was, as I've said, going to run I should be running Warframe today. I'm a bit burned out on Warframe after the grinding for Oraxia and Kullervo. I really, for stream purposes and my own curiosity, ought to be working on Kullervo so I can do a comparison with my favorite melee frame, the Gauss Prime, so I can do a melee comparison and see which I prefer. Because everybody said, I say everybody, oh, Kullervo's the best, you know, it's got these massive health and great criticals. And I really ought to try it out. But I actually find Soulframe to be quite relaxing. You know, it's an interesting part of it is I get this weird feeling sometimes walking around it. It's what, there's going to be some kind of announcement today. I'm not going to be watching it. I never watch that kind of thing. But yeah, I like this. I find Soulframe quite relaxing. I almost like the slowish pace. You know, the fact that you can literally just say, you know what, we're just going to go for a walk in the countryside. I like the fact that parts of the countryside almost feel like sort of a well curated woodland. And just going for a walk is its own pleasure in the game. I have a suspicion there's going to be some disappointment in that it's not as developed story-wise, mission-wise, that kind of thing as Warframe. But you know, this has only been in, how long has this been early in pre-alpha, pre-beta, early access? Who was it has? Yes. Yeah, no, it's perfect. I mean, one of my favorite bits is when you release the animals. I love that. You know, but mind you, I find it very easy to get distracted in Warframe. Oh, let's try this. When I first started playing, I'm not sure really what I expected. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. I I love the fact that when you start the game up, you know, there you are sitting with your back against a rock, and there's a beaver asleep next to you, twitching its paws. I love that. How long has this been in early pre alpha access release? I mean, I'm very glad I got into it, and you know, because I it's something I really wanted to get into, and not at the ground level, but you know, very early on. You know, I kind of wish I'd done the same with Warframe, but back in 2013, I was not in a position at all. I can barely remember. What was I doing in 2013? Grief.
The coward evades!
In some ways, as a year, okay. Alright. So I'm actually late to the game. In some ways, as a streamer, while I wasn't actively looking for something to get into early on, that it is interesting to do that, especially with a game you like. I was hoping that Hightail would be that game, but I got disappointed by Hightail. So, and back in January, I was sort of had the choice, Founders Pack essentially for Hightail or for Soulframe. I'm very glad I picked Soulframe. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I hope. Yeah, I've got my issues with. Yeah, that might be interesting. As if I haven't got enough to. As if I don't have enough spending time playing, or streaming, I should say. I can't tell if that's part of a tree. It's part of a tree. What am I doing down here? I don't know, just wandering around shooting at the enemy and having myself a relax. Yeah, in the end, and I understand that Hightail's development was plagued with problems, but I was quite disappointed at just how unfinished the game is. I think after 10 years of development, it should have been much further along. Yep. What am I doing? I think I'm headed for the Rose Enclave, aren't I? So I think I made the right decision supporting this. By the way, don't get me wrong. If anybody ever really pushes, I can probably be critical. And I don't mean... Yeah, I could probably throw out criticisms of the game, but it doesn't really lend itself in my head to really having a solid go at it. I can't remember if I said this early on in my first impressions video of this. I think there's going to be a tendency to compare it with Skyrim. Where really, if you're going to compare with an, yes, I think I have. Yeah, I've done all the one. I think so. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, Brew of Hughes. Ah, maybe not. I've done Brewer of Hughes, Rise Envoy, The Last Pensive, The She-Wolf Snared, The Steel Singer, The Torment Stag, The Waste Bear, and War Songs. So those are all the fables I've done. And I think that's all of them, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not quite sure about all of this one. I haven't unlocked all the names. I'll get around to it. Yeah, so that gives you a quick rundown of where I've got to. But yeah, it's going to be very tempting to compare it with a game like Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim, and I'm not about to get into it now, simply because it's far too late in the day. I did play Morrowind many, many, many years ago, and
Staying busy, I hope.
oh, okay, I've got a ways to go.
Wished! I can't think!
What?
Very well. Assume your position.
Oh, okay.
Good. There is much to be done. Good. There is much to be done. Very well. Assume your position. Good. There is much to be done.
Okay.
Very well. Assume your position.
You honor the lost this day. A rite of atonement. Oh, Garen. Protect these old folk.
Good. There is much to be done.
Right.
Hey, no more
Slow progress.
You've had enough.
I'm getting there. Wherever there is.
Go with grace of root.
I mean, I can see things I'd like to see changed. You know, a lot of the character models are clearly identical. I wish they were varied. You know, they've got exactly the same items in exactly the same places in the exactly same state of disrepair. But you know, is that a quibble? I don't know really. Yeah, you got the same thing here. Yes, I know. I've kind of gathered that. That's why I've been doing the Sparrow's Tales. I actually got my first rank by doing the Sparrow's Tales. So, yeah, I'm aware of that. And one thing I have not yet figured out is how to join a different enclave. I found different enclaves. I can't remember where they are, but you know, it's like the factions you belong to in Warframe. I'm still stuck on the same one. Sooner or later, I'll change my affiliation in Warframe. I still find it kind of odd that, for me at least, there is precious little interest, I say, in the game. It's not reached a general awareness yet. If I were to stream something like Warframe, you know, I'd get people stopping by and just to watch it briefly. Doesn't happen here. In a way, I play, you know, me playing Soulframe is actually almost damaging to my channel because it doesn't really contribute much to views. So I play it because I like it. Oh, that was just plain rude. Okay, probably not as rude as an arrow to the gut. I will grant you that. I didn't want to do that. Oh, it wasn't sympathy there. Oh, there we go. Hello, little rat. That actually reminds me of a place I stayed at in China. Well, Hong Kong. Chungchao. Many years ago, you could literally sit at a restaurant by the harbour and watch the rats scurry along the wall. I mean, not in huge numbers. I'm not saying it was infested, but Right. I'm actually going to take a quick break after I sneeze. Apologies. Oh, I think my eyeballs nearly popped out with that. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm actually going to take a quick break, and for that I will actually return back to the night hold, just on the off chance. See you. Have a good evening. I will be back in a couple of minutes. And I am, as you can tell, back. So, for the benefit of anybody who comes along later, and wonders why I'm not dashing off to the Envoy Hour to find out what the developers have to say. I don't bother with those things. I mean, I suppose for streaming purposes, if I were to stream it and comment on it, that would probably be a good thing. But I genuinely don't particularly care what they have to say. The game will be developed. I will be playing it. And whatever they release is whatever they release. Ah, there you are. Hello, Sia. Always hug your wolf pup. Oh, actually, that reminds me. No. She has, I think.
I know. How can I do better?
Oh no, that's in progress. And I need to actually... I'm not sure if I want... Well, I've got enough stuff for now. But no, I take the attitude with game development. It's going to happen. I don't, I'll be here when it's released, when changes are released. And I'm too old and too cynical to really get all excited about it. Plus, while I've... Ooh, that's quite a patrol we have here. The history of gaming is full of developers' promises, of which I've heard entirely too many over the years. So I would rather just wait for updates to be released, and then that's what I will judge the game on, so to speak. I know there's a new bow in the game. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that at some point. I really ought to do more combat with the dagger. Right, what was I actually trying to do? I was trying to go...
Ancient roots from which you've grown, voicing seed, take us home.
Yep. Fast travel. Tell you one thing I wish that they would do. I don't know whether they do or not. But I wish I would very much like to see this game engine licensed. If it isn't, it should be. And I would definitely, and if it is, I really do want to see what other games do with it. If you're a regular, you've probably heard me having a go about the Unreal game engine before. Which isn't to say this one isn't somewhat demanding. It is, but it does strike me as being better developed than the Unreal Engine.
Let us meet bone.
Well, that worked quite well. Oh, it's nice to have a rabbit that isn't white. Yeah, I really ought to do things like this more frequently. Hello, boys. Ouch. Yeah, I really ought to rank up. By the way, for a dagger that long, reverse grip, not a good idea. Sorry, that. Yeah, that's it's too long for that. It's a short. That's a sword. Reverse grip doesn't make a lot of sense for it. I know reverse grip looks cool, and there are times when it has a place, just not with longer weapons. No, I don't know where I'm going. Or why. Actually, what I'm looking for is the... Yeah, this fella. I'm just running, what do you call them, mini quests, votives. Oh, I'm here. Oh, gather hymrose. Hymrose? Ah. We're picking daisies. Okay, we've actually got quite an area to search. Oops. Oh, last. You're on the wrong side of the gate, of the door. That was silly on my part. That final dose put me under.
The prey is mine.
Ouchie. And this is why I really ought to stick with just shooting them. Wow, I respawned quite a long way away, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Right. Back to picking daisies. Well, whatever it is they call them. anybody seen any nice flowers? Oops, I'm outside of range. Oh, there we go. Oh, that looks like a place to find corrupted creatures. I don't think they qualify, but still, seeing as they're here. Yeah, they don't get on well with those. Come on. And like I say, you definitely don't want to be anywhere near that little lightning strike. Now I'm going to really geek out. Well, I'm not sure if that's the correct expression. Those look like something out of a Star Trek episode, and I can't remember which one it was. I mean, original Star Trek. Has anybody seen a banneret lately? What do we reckon?
Honor the lost this day, a rite of atonement.
That was it, wasn't it? And as usual, I'm going to complain that this person was just standing there and completely ignoring this. Really? You just stood there and did nothing. Oh, okay. Or what's this one? This one? Sludge Hunter. Let's go hunt some sludge. Actually, I could probably... Oh, no, no. I was going to wonder if there was a world tree nearby and I could just fast travel, but apparently not. So that looks like... Well, that was straightforward. What we're going to do now is find our local... Oh, he's that way, is he? Oh, yeah, there he is. Nice and safe and out of the way. Lay waste. Okay. Lead on, little sparrow. Actually, is there a quicker way to get there? Oh, there is.
Ancient roots from which you've grown.
Hi, I'm using Linux Mint. And I am running 5800X3D and an AMD RX 9070. 32 gigabytes of what I believe was the fastest DDR4 RAM I could get. There you go. Of course, that's the gaming PC. That's what you're looking at. That's not what I'm streaming with. So the full spec would also be the streaming computer. The streaming computer is a baseline M4 Mac Mini. And an Elgato capture card. 4KX. And the screen you are looking at is a 3440 by 1440, mirrored through the capture card. I could, yes, I could. In fact, I did. I've only been, I know, if you're listening, if you listen to me for half a second, in fact, I did stream. I streamed with a 7800. That worked just fine. I streamed with a 9070. And now, this gives me, oh grief, by streaming with the M4 Mac Mini, I pick up about 15, maybe 20% of GPU capability. So by switching the streaming over to a second computer, I've done the equivalent of actually putting another graphics card in here. To be honest with you, to upgrade the computer to even more capable, just based on graphics cards, I would have to spend quite a lot of money to do it. And that assumes that I could find something suitable. I don't particularly want to run an NVIDIA this is a 5070-ish level card. Oh, hello Linux YouTuber. I mean, to be honest with you, the next update. Alright, I'll do that. The next update that I could do for a graphics card would either have to be to an overclocked 9070 XT, which would also require me to update the power supply, which would get expensive quite quickly. Yeah, no, it's perfectly good. I mean, over a 7800, I got maybe, oh, I don't know, 15-20% more performance. And then I've got, yeah, while streaming, I've got more performance than that. I can actually run this. This is max graphics, I think. 100 hertz. I can actually run this at 100 frames a second, albeit with FSR 2.2 enabled. Without FSR, I pretty much max out at 60 frames a second on maximum. But yeah, how do you mean? Explain, please. No, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I don't do overclocking. Not going to do it. It would probably only give me a few percent more. It would demand more power, make the system run hotter. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm. Look, it would take more power and the system would run hotter. I've actually, when I built the computer, I wasn't building it for streaming. I was building it for other purposes. So it's actually built on a small form factor. Again, I'm not prepared to do that. I don't have the skills, I don't have the confidence, and I don't want to do anything that would destabilize the system. So no, I'm probably not going to do that. And honestly, how much would I actually gain? The simple answer is probably very little. I have yet to encounter a situation where, well, with all due respect, I had never run Linux before. So, you know, and it works, so who cares? There's nothing which says I have to be a Linux geek. And I don't do it for points. or anything like that. And I am not prepared to risk making a mistake and damaging something. I mean, seriously, how much performance would I expect to get? No, it's not. Risk is something you do with careful judgment. Doing it for fun when I have a stable system doesn't make any sense. But seriously, how much performance would I get? Seriously, how much performance would I actually get? 10 frames a second? Is it worth it? Yeah, I'm gonna. I would need to see some citations on that. You're gonna tell me I can run the same performance at only 100? Yeah, but you're seriously telling me that I would save, halving the power will give me what, the same performance or less performance? You see? So what performance would I get? What performance would I would want a lot more information before I even considered it. And let's face it, it runs stably. And I refuse to get into the whole, oh, you shouldn't run Linux Mint because only dweebs run that. It works fine for me. I'm not going to go into, oh, you can only run this particular Linux distro because that's what works and that's what you should run. I refuse to do that. I will never say to anybody, you should run this or that operating system. Maybe, allegedly. Is it worth the risk? Simple answer is no, probably not. It works well enough. Why? I mean, yeah. Again, you're saying here you'll get the same performance. Okay. Well, that's not an argument for me to make changes. Or even better. What does even better mean? I mean, if you're telling me I could get 20% more performance. Except that I would be amazed if you could get a performance increase like that. And maintain stability. And, yeah, I have no need to at the moment. Maybe in the future, but I have no need to right now. I'm sure you're right, but then I'd have to wipe the entire system. I have to stop streaming, reinstall everything. There's the thing. It would. My opportunities for doing anything that you suggest are limited. Couldn't do it during the week, for example. Right. So that's Monday through Friday, completely out. There's stuff I want to do that I don't have the time to do during the week. Weekends are the only time I could do it. And even then, I typically stream at the weekends, even though I'm not scheduled to do so. So, yeah, I mean, I'll check out your channel. I will take a look. I'm amazed you haven't had a go at me for using a Mac Mini as the streaming computer. People have an irrational hatred of OS X, and I don't know why. I think it's a fantastic operating system. Much prefer it to Windows. Forgot what I was doing now. Ah. Thought I'd actually done these. Oh, I haven't.
Better big sip. Try a sip or die a sip. That's a root. Drink or die. Drink.
Mobile artist. Hey, Brikash. How you doing? Gotta find a way down without killing myself. Hey, Chad. Yes. Just been receiving advice on overclocking, undervolting, and generally trying to squeeze the absolute maximum performance from this system. Hi, Phoebe. I personally think that if you know what you're doing, then overclocking, undervolting, all that kind of thing, you know, yeah, might be worth doing. But I don't think I've ever heard a decent case made for doing it. I mean, yeah, okay, you could possibly reduce power consumption and maybe cool it down a bit, or you get a bit more performance. How much more performance? Can you quantify it? You know, is it 10% more performance? I don't know that I've ever really encountered a situation where, you know, tuning and overclocking would give you the equivalent of, say, of sticking in a new graphics card. I'm running at 70% on my GPU right now, so okay, I might use less power, but it's in this day and age, I would, and there's always the possibility, given that I don't know what I'm doing, I would run the risk of damaging the system, possibly, which I don't really want to do. Risks like that should be taken with all due consideration, and I have not been given a great reason to take the risk. And I certainly wouldn't then recommend that everybody do it. I did blow up a GPU once, but that was my own fault, and it wasn't because I overclocked. I got the cooling system wrong for it. No, that was many years ago. So yeah, if it runs stable and well enough, then fine. But yeah, under what circumstance am I going to get a huge amount of benefit from? Whoops. Oh. Your best bet if you want performance probably is simply reduce the, reduce the resolution, reduce the graphics quality. That's probably your best. Oh, wow. I mean, I could, if I really wanted better performance, I mean, I can turn this down to high, and that would mean I wouldn't have to run FSR 2.2. Actually, I technically don't have to, but you know. Or I could drop the render resolution to 2580 by 1080. That would give me quite a bit of a bit more performance. We seem to be done. Oh no, we're not done. Where's he trying to take me? I've never played World of Warcraft. I mean, I'll be honest, half the time, I mean, yes, I'm running at ultra graphics. I probably wouldn't really notice if I dropped to high. I mean, other people might. I don't notice that kind of thing, so... That's a lot of time and money put into a game. Not that I'm judging, but wow. I suspect, though, if you actually did the mathematics of how long you had spent to get X amount of money, it's probably less than minimum wage. Well, one argument is, well, I mean, World of Warcraft is still going, isn't it? Okay, I think we're done with that. Yes, we are. Well, I'm pretty much coming to the end of this little session. Time for me to start winding down, get some sleep, because I'll be up at 2 a.m. in the morning, because of course I will be. I don't sleep very well. However, that means that I will be streaming Vintage Story at 5 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which will be midnight for some of you. Vintage Story is getting interesting. I'm trying to learn mining and surprisingly making progress. I am technically about to enter the Bronze Age. And then, of course... No, I just have odd sleep patterns. I take a nap in the afternoons for a couple of hours. Hour and a half, 2 hours. And I get about 4 hours sleep in the evenings. It's not a case of don't sleep well, it's just that my sleep patterns are weird. Old man's sort of thing, maybe. I mean, yeah. So, following Vintage Story at 9 o'clock, I will be running, of course, The Long Dark, where we finally killed the bear in Drift Island after galloping across Forsaken Airfield. The major problem with picking up that bear is it's relatively late in the day. It is cold enough to, yeah, make you go, hmm. Oh, right. So, yes, tomorrow should be interesting in both Vintage Story and in The Long Dark. Not. I should tomorrow evening run Warframe. I don't know whether I will at this point, but that's what I should do. Oh, hi, Anna. No, I'm only reason I'm awake at midnight is if I genuinely get into a bit of bout of insomnia. Would you stop shooting me, guys? Excuse me a second while I just run away in terror here. I don't know that you can decrease the hard length of a hard drive but simply by running multiple operating systems on it. Anyway, I am going to love you and leave you, so to speak. With apologies to everybody who just joined, just in time to see me go off to get something to eat. Oh, I'm very tempted to take one more shot, see if I can hit this fella. Yep, appears to be the answer. Though he doesn't seem very happy about it. Is he still coming? So, thank you everybody for watching, joining me in chat. Much appreciated. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. And I will see you all next time.